Oh boy, am I ready for my first press interview. Gotta make sure I don't say something stupid, but anyways guys, welcome back to F1 2020 My Team Part 5. So last time we were here, we raced at China and I did pretty good. Even after a very anxious me had to drive cautiously in the last 2 laps once it started raining. But nevertheless, I did manage to beat my first ever rival, and so far I'm ahead of my rival. And who's my rival? It's none other than Carlos Sainz. So another thing I want to point out is that my event Gearbox is near its expiration date. And of course I'll take the blame for that, for doing too many high revs in some parts. And if I keep doing that, chances are I'll definitely have to switch it next race, because in the next race I can already see it reach 90% or more in wear, and I will have to change it and get a grid penalty for it. So I'm going to be extra careful with gear changes. Hopefully. Well, I have a full day today. I can put a new sponsor, get more R&D stuff, and much more. Let's get into this. And let's start off with working with the R&D tree. Okay, so here's what I went for. I once again went with a powertrain and chassis upgrade. That's what the game recommended me to do. I kid you not, but whatever makes this car perform better, I'll take it. So now that my team is finally level 5, I can now put a third sponsor to get that green even higher. Right, so this is the sponsor that I'm going with. Honestly, not the prettiest logo, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the car because of how thin the font is. Well, that's not bad actually. I ended up putting it in 2 places. Now, to work for the next sponsor. Now, time for me to go on a shopping spree. First item is driver perk. For me, I want to look good in this upcoming press interview, so time to level up that coaching media. Next thing is for the team, but mostly the second driver. I'm going to upgrade the simulator and hopefully he can get around the Williams cars. $2 million, this better work. Right, let's get through the week.
As we continue to increase our acclaim, more potential partners become willing to work with us. We can now approach an additional sponsor from the corporate tab.
Okay, so how do I look, guys? Just kidding, let's get this press interview going. Hopefully Mr. Inverted Hero Brian doesn't show up again. That was a nightmare to look at.
Well, it's great to be back at your headquarters, and I've got to say, an awful lot's changed since we were last here. Let's dive in with some questions. Would it be safe to say that in terms of team orders, your career comes first in your team? Your second driver seems to be getting much more comfortable with their car. Have you been focusing on their development? Do you see your relationship with your second driver being long-term, or will you be looking for someone else if you're successful? Will your team be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points? Your team's been picking up points fairly consistently. Do you think you'll be able to become a challenge to the top teams in the future? Well, thanks so much as ever for your time. It's hugely appreciated.
I'm worried about our cash reserves. They're pretty low and we might have to start shutting down facilities.
That went well, I guess. Right, let's go to the race weekend then. Okay, so here we are heading over to my teammate's home race. I almost forgot he's Dutch. Don't think Max will take all the spotlight, big man. Show him what that $2 million simulator can do. Right, qualifying time. So I forgot to mention this, but in quali, if you see me kind of stalling around not going on a track, there's a reason for that. As you know, I have a component with a lot of wear, and that component is the gearbox. Now, I could be wrong about the 90% part I mentioned, because if I'm actually very cautious like I was in P3, it might in fact be less than 90%. And also, this is the first time I work with managing engine components in an F1 game, so I don't know if it's near the time of changing it, or it could still hold. Well, let's see how this quali goes.
pushing too hard, it's causing your gearbox to take increased wear. We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes. To view information on your current levels of tyre wear and damage, press the MFD button to open the multifunction display, and then again to cycle to the tyres and damage screen. Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes. 2 laps of fuel remaining.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Hamilton, Vettel and Max Verstappen. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Alright, P15. Might not sound exciting, but the important thing here is I'm in front of my rival. Now I hope the Gearbox will survive with my driving.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts.
It's been a great qualifying session for you. Are you going to carry that momentum into the race? Do you think your teammate was enjoying themselves in front of their home crowd?
Appreciate your time.
Okay, so it's time for the race. Now checking here, it looks like the gearbox is at 80%. Not bad. It looks like I may have miscalculated the wear percent for this weekend. It's a bit less, and that's good. I'm gonna see how this gearbox performs in this race, and after this race I'll see if I should replace it or not. And if anyone got advice, feel free to tell me. Well, let's go racing then.
It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Bottas, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Norris, Stroll, Ricciardo and Pierre Gasly, Ocon, Magnussen, Sergio Perez, and Kvyat, Joker, Grosjean, Carlos Sainz, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Russell, Latifi, and Mahavir Raghunathan. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish. Our system checks are good. We need to stay in formation and start bringing the car up to temperature, please. Get some load into the tyres and work the brakes. We want them nice and warm by the end of the lap. No rain expected for the time being. Pushing too hard, it's causing your gearbox to take increased wear. Top 10 now, keep it up. Reached a worrying level of wear on the internal combustion engine. Let's try and keep the revs down. Early upshifts, later downshifts. this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode. Flag. Some imminent gearbox issues. Watch out for jams and missed gears. A small amount of time to the car behind. Keep pushing. Reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control. approaching the pit window. You'll be on the softs. Okay, clear. Okay, some information on Raikkonen. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car. Caution, caution. Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. Gap to car in front is 2.0 seconds. Pit window open. Let's box this lap. Okay, there's a fair amount of wear to the engine now. Just be aware, we're keeping an eye on it. Has come in to fit the mediums. Car ahead, now running medium tyres. Exit now. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. is in the pits. Mahavir in the pits. Nice move. Good job. Okay, you're catching the car ahead, but remember we need to get to the end of the race on these tyres. Gap to teammate behind is 17.8 seconds. The gap to the car ahead is 4.9 seconds. Right, some information on Ricardo. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car. There's 5 laps of fuel remaining. turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum. To the car in front is 6.5 seconds. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. Gap ahead is 8.7 seconds. This is your final lap of the race. We're leading our teammate by 23.3 seconds. race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Joker. They pushed and found some fantastic performance. It was just a pleasure to watch.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today, as they make their way up the standings. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Let's go, boys. The Gearbox survived. I went up 6 positions and I got driver of the day. And it looks like the Gearbox wear is at 84%. Maybe I treated it much nicer than in my other races that I've done. But should I replace it at this point? That is the question now.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
You really cut your way through the field today. What was your strategy? Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
Do you feel that your teammate put on a good show for their home crowd? Appreciate your time.
Morning, boss. This week's income from the sponsors has cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
So guys, when we come back to F1 2020, TNP Motorsport will be racing at Barcelona, and hopefully won't be a snooze race like the actual one this year. Well guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.